it looks like we're already in. Okay, welcome everyone to our 8th episode of Good Food and Great People. I am one of your hosts, Steph, and later on you'll get to see Kizzy in a little bit. But we have lots of awesome and amazing things to talk about with you all today. And of course, I hope you're, in the kitchen somewhere, try to bring your lunch in. All right. So we do have a couple things as always. We got IG on one side and of course StreamYard on the other, where we'll be able to see your comments, have discussions with you all, right? So if you are on Instagram, you can go ahead and move on over to the YouTube, the KPC YouTube. That way you can join in on the conversation. Of course, I'll be checking these comments as well, but these are just going to be a little bit quicker, okay? So welcome. I'm seeing everyone join us. Hello. Hi, Rodwa. The awesome thing about Instagram is that you can see who's joined, but I don't know who's joined us here. But if you just joined, welcome again. All right. Some of us are still grabbing our lunch. Speaking of that, that's one of my first questions is, what are we having for lunch today? Okay. So what are we having for lunch today? Oh, it looks like we got, hi Scal, hi Giselle, welcome, thanks for joining. What are you guys having for lunch today? Rodwa, anything you're having for lunch today on Insta? Lori, hi, and Mom, yes. All right, Mrs. Davis, nice to see you as well, or hear from you. What are we having for lunch, team? I can just give you guys a preview of what we're having for lunch. We're not going to do it like last time where we decided who's who. But I'll go ahead and share my lunch really quick. I'll grab a napkin as well. So last week we actually went with the fruit bowls, and I decided to go with another one because they were so delicious. This time, gang, they played me. Right. As you see here, there's not a lot of fruit going on, but it's, it'll do for lunch today. Yes. So that is mine. I'm having a fruit bowl. And this time I kind of removed some of the extras that I usually get. So literally they went very skeleton, on me right here. Okay, and Rodwa, fish. Yes, I love fish. I actually was a pescatarian for a couple years. And I wasn't doing it right. I ended up getting an iron deficiency because I wasn't having enough veggies, right? Just because you eat fish doesn't mean like you're healthy. I didn't know that, right? It's like, oh, if I'm eating fish, then everything else should be working fine. Turns out I ended up getting an iron deficiency from it. I incorporated or introduced meat back into my life, but fish is definitely still my favorite, Rodwa. Love it. Any kind. What's your favorite? And then it looks like, I feel like they are crazy smaller than before. Yes. So Laura, where I got this fruit bowl, not fish bowl, this fruit bowl from. You know exactly where. And I kid you not, every single time I go, it's like, am I just going to get like a banana next time? But the thing is, I've never tasted such fresh fruit before. Like I can go anywhere. I've had fruit bowls before. But something about theirs, like you can give me two banana strips, right? And I'll be fine because their fruit rolls are no joke. Yeah, always a ripoff. What a rip. Are you having anything for lunch today, Lori? Or is it too early? What about G and Scow? They were huge. Okay, for anyone who does not know, it wasn't even in this specific container. It was like gigantic. It was to the point where it felt like an actual meal. So I know you guys are probably like, it's like Stephanie starving herself. But I kid you not, I did not know it was going to be this small. Okay. Okay, so hi everyone who joined us on IG as well. We are getting started. Kizzy!
Hi everyone.
Hello, we have our host here. Kizzy.
No, she's the host.
Well,
Stephanie is the main host.
Thank you, Kizzy.
I'm just setting up my IG.
Yes.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Yes.
Happy
Oh, we're just
Friday.
talking about these amazing fruit bowls, Kizzy.
Oh,
and
I love
Lori and I specifically are reminiscing because they used to be gigantic. Yes, with the yogurt, the granola, and honey. Exactly. Nope. Got
Yeah, they
played.
used to be. They did, but they. Well, did you ask for?
I asked for it on the side, and they
Oh.
did not put it on the side. They put the yogurt. I put it in the fridge, the yogurt, because I totally forgot I got yogurt and I left it out for a little bit. Not good. But yeah, so I've asked for granola and honey on the side, thinking I was gonna like get more, because you know when you get things on the side, you get a little bit more of it. And I was like, I'll play with it, you know, as I go. Maybe I'll want more, maybe I won't want it at all. I just wanted options, and they gave me none.
Wait a minute. They didn't give you any granola?
They gave me no granola, no
Nothing in the
coconut.
container?
No, I checked. I literally was surprised, but they got two dressed. Yeah, so you want to show them your
Yeah,
lunch really quick?
I get this all the time.
Yes.
This is good. You gotta overlook my broken plate though. You know, I chipped the plate, but I have backups. We all know. So Stephanie plated this. It looks like how beautiful this is. She's coming to a restaurant near you. This is gorgeous.
Did you like how I placed like the
She like
the apples?
she like spread out the apples.
Yes.
This is
With
their
a
organic.
you know how hard it is with a fork?
It's hard with the fork. It's really
So
hard.
I was literally
utensil.
not trying to touch it.
It
So
is, and she did a splendid job. So this is a mixed green with Brussels sprouts because I love Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna
No, like-
on here.
she loves
love
Brussels sprouts.
It's really good, and then they have almonds. They have and then they have dressing. I'm not going to.
Oh, Rodman says she loves your outfit. Hey,
Oh, thank
Kizzy.
you. You're so
Awesome.
sweet. I'm gonna eat. Shoot,
Yes.
that's what I'm doing.
So what it comes with a specific dressing, Kizzy. Do you like that dressing?
I do. I usually I have a little method to my madness,
Okay.
but it's good like this.
Because if anyone knows Kizzy, I don't know if you actually eat Caesar dressing anymore, do you?
I still do.
But that was
That's
like
my
her
favorite.
favorite, y'all. Caesar dressing. No other dressing was really in the mix of. So to see her eating what this is like a what? Apple cider vinaigrette.
This one is pretty good. It's a little sweet. It's good though. It's a good to mix it in.
Well,
And then those nuts make it.
So I
Lori's
didn't know.
favorite.
I didn't know if you wanted the nuts in there. You did.
I mix
Okay.
them all. It's good. It's perfect.
Okay. Next time. Yeah. So there are nuts in there. I just didn't add it for the plating.
It's perfect.
So yes, apple cider vinaigrette, so delicious. Probably. So I love dressings. I know Kizzy's
Thank
very
you for the water.
particular. Yes, of course.
No, I love this.
She's very particular about her dressings. So yeah, so let's keep it moving here. So we have a couple of things going on. Let's see. So we got a hi from Holly. Hey, Holly. All right. And fresh kitchen bowl, rice. Oh, chicken, rice, chickpeas, and pico de gallo. Oh, Fresh Kitchen is an amazing spot to go to. They actually have them all over the U.S. now. So you may, they just make these awesome bowls.
What's Fresh Kitchen?
They make these awesome bowls, and the banger, like the icing on the cake when it comes to Fresh Kitchen are their chickpeas. I've never tried chickpeas. Yes, exactly.
I'm not. I had some fried chickpeas.
Or baked from air fryer ones, but no, these are it's like a stew. It's like a
chickpeas,
chicken pea stew.
I'm not okay. So it was good.
It was really good. It was so flavorful and tasty. Yes, Fresh Kitchen.
Okay.
So good. Definitely might be in your area. I believe there's one in DC for those of you who are in DC. Also Kava, if anybody knows of a Kava. So good.
Sounds good.
But yes, thanks, Lori. Thanks. I'm really trying to be better about my plating. I'm going to have a chickpea bites with avocado spread and iced coffee. One time for the iced coffee. Right?
Somebody got iced coffee, man.
One time for the iced coffee, okay? And it looks like we got some people. Hello. Oh, thank you so much, Devin. Hello. Okay, awesome. So in the meantime, we're just talking about what's for lunch, because you can't have good food with great people without the food, right?
Yeah, you gotta have some food or, something like that.
You should try curry chickpeas. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they do use curry in it. I just can't decipher all the flavors because it's just a load of flavors in those chickpeas. But yes, if you have a recipe, call me. All right.
That sounds
so
good.
one of the most famous salads in the Middle East is chickpea spread.
Oh, that sounds good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I like chickpeas. I think that sounds really tasty. What do you have it with?
Yeah, what do you
serve it with?
What do you serve
Salad?
the chickpea spread with? So speaking about that, I went on a chickpea rampage like 2 weeks ago where I had Greek food like for 3 times that week. And literally I was just craving hummus and pita. So I didn't realize how much foods I have that have chickpeas. Like I had the same reaction like chickpeas, but it's just like, wow, it's actually a lot of the dishes that I normally eat and I didn't even think
I know,
about.
they are.
Yeah.
They really are.
And then let's see here. Yes.
We can have more Greek food today if you want.
Okay. Ooh, that would be amazing.
They're open for lunch.
That is amazing. I love Greek
I have to
food.
check.
And then look, Lori's brother makes some chickpeas, the curry chickpeas. I'm gonna need recipes, okay? I'm determined to recreate their recipe. Like, determined. All right, let's see here. So many, and they're so good. Their pita
That
chips are
sounds
probably the best pita chips I've ever tried in my life.
That sounds really good.
In my life. Usually grilled meat or siren shawarma. I just learned how to make shawarma in the oven. So that's awesome. And I love it.
Meat sounds good.
Yes. I
Tasty.
love speaking
Sounds
of
very
meats.
tasty.
So yeah, so we're having fish on this side, some meats over here. I hope everyone is enjoying their lunch. I do have a quick question while you guys enjoy that lunch, because as you know, today's topic is all about underratedness, right? And really 5 most underrated things that you can do at work, right? That you probably aren't doing already. And we'll really dive into that. But I just needed to know from everyone, what is the most underrated movie you have seen?
Oh, that's a good question, Stephanie.
Yeah. And I got my answer, but I'll wait on it. What is the most underrated movie you have seen? Do you have one, Kizzy?
I gotta think about it. That's a hard answer. That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, because those stars, man. I never actually I remember my brother was really big into ratings. Like we couldn't watch a movie without looking at the ratings. And I would be like, okay, like, so what if it has 3 stars? Like, look at this cool scene. Like, I want to see this. I want to see how this develops. Like, I'm not really much about ratings except food. And I got that actually. Kizzy is like really good at looking at spots, like, and knowing whether they're a good place to eat or not. So,
Yeah, we have some new good spots here.
finally.
But we have curfew. So for any of you watching and you're coming to Miami Beach, we have curfew. Don't forget.
Yes, it's 8 o'clock now again, right?
Only through the entertainment district.
Okay, look at
But
that.
anyone else, be prepared because they're only letting residents in from MacArthur. And you have to have your ID or proof that you're staying in a hotel. Otherwise, you
Or
will be
working, right?
redirected to a different causeway. So just be warned.
Right, you've been warned.
10 p.m.
So we got a couple of movies. The Naked Gun series. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
What is that about?
You're going to have to take a look, girl.
I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
You're going to have to take a look. No, the Naked Guns. Oh, The Illusionist is good. Oh, Holly, did you cut your hair?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, Holly.
Holly, did you cut your hair?
2021 look or not?
That looks good.
I love it. Yes, Holly. And happy belated, and I said happy birthday before, but
Yeah,
your birthday was
belated.
just a couple days ago. So
Happy
happy birthday. I hope you had an amazing
Naked
time.
Gun's good. What are some other?
Crazy Rich Asians. I love that movie. Oh my goodness. I couldn't agree
Who
anymore.
wrote that?
I don't know who wrote it.
No, who wrote it in the
Oh,
comments?
Rabwa.
Yeah, that was. I feel like it was largely underrated. Like people, yeah.
So I actually
me about
have a funny story about going to see it because when I went to see Crazy Rich Asians, it was my first time going to one of those movie theaters where you can like eat, like they'll come and serve you, and you have the recliner seats and all of that stuff. So I was super excited about it, and I went with my boyfriend, and we're in the movie theaters, and the lights went down. We had a really good meal, but honestly, sitting down and eating, and it's just a lot of like ready to just kind of knock out. So, like they're very much preparing you. Like that's a secret recipe to go to bed. So I actually really enjoyed the movie Rodwell, but I had to like keep my eyes open to watch it because I just had literally the itis. Like the food got to me. And all of a sudden I hear next to me this beautiful snoring noise that just became louder and louder until we just had to leave the movie theater because it was too loud. What? Basically, Nick kept falling asleep. Okay, he couldn't stay, and I was like, we're just not doing this. I was like, we can't be here. You're interrupting the movie for other folks.
It happens. Like you're tired.
You're eating. You're relaxed.
You're relaxed.
So that's my I keep crying every time I watch it because it's so fun. I know, and I was so mad because I didn't get to even watch the ending. So Rodwell, I have no idea what happens at the ending. Tragedy. I know.
I don't know what
happens. Oh, you said old picture, Holly. Well, I love it. I don't know if that's a cut that you're trying. Picture. Yes, but I like it a lot. And Holly, you look amazing. Yes, agreed.
Did anybody watch like Coming to America 2?
Yes, I actually did. Yes. Yeah, I mean, yes. I think I said yes too fast, but then I realized. So the interesting thing about it is like they definitely try to keep the essence of the first one, but they use so much of like what's happening in our world a lot, like whether it's social media or Uber. Like they made references to the stuff that we're kind of going through now, but some of it was. Like there were some jokes that were so far stretched, like they were trying to make such a point that it was just like, oh, that's not really that funny. But what I loved about the movie that I wouldn't trade it for the world is the emphasis on women, because he now has 3 daughters and now one of them is supposed to basically take the reign next. And it was just a nice twist where really the whole thing about it is you don't have to basically stick with the old. You can progress and women can be leaders, right? Women can be vice presidents, and there's just this whole again new archetype of what it means to be a queen, right? A king or a ruler of a land, a vice president. I just really like that, like how they emphasize like the what women
we're doing and continue doing. Will do.
Right, exactly. So
that's
that
good. It sounds like a very positive message.
Yeah, the messaging was really good.
I was just thinking that it's probably underrated. That maybe it's an underrated movie, and I appreciate what you shared. It sounds like potentially it is. I don't know.
What did you guys think about part 2 of Coming to America? And we also have Hollywood movies on Netflix that are underrated.
Ooh. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of movies.
Nollywood. I've never heard of Nollywood.
Well, let's see what she's.
Yes, if you can give us some insight on that. Yeah. It looks like Giselle knows what it is too.
Yeah, I'm just waving to everyone who's on. I'm excited about underrated. I was for those of you who joined.
Yes, I did see the first one, Lori.
I went in on the salad. This is one of my favorite salads. It's a Brussels sprout salad.
Yes, make sure you're grabbing your lunch.
So good. With organic chicken. It's really healthy. One of all-time favorites. I probably order that salad at least once a week sometimes.
So Lori, of course, had to ask if I watched the first one. Yes, I did.
Okay,
I did, and it was so. I mean, it took me a while to watch the first one. It wasn't something I immediately got into, but yes, I definitely watched it. I do have to say that the first one for me was better than the second as well. So, but one of the most underrated movies I've watched, I don't know if anyone's watched On Time, and it has Justin Timberlake is the main.
On Time. I don't know. I'm still listening. Sorry, I'm messing with the list.
Yes, so On Time, I really liked it. I thought it was going to be underrated, especially because like Justin Timberlake, he is a good actor, but I just thought it was going to be a regular movie. Like okay, this is nice, Justin Timberlake. It ended up actually changing the way that I see life. Which is crazy.
And you had like a breakthrough moment. It wasn't just for entertainment.
I thought it was just Justin Timberlake. You think about like, oh, I used to listen to him back in the day. Yeah. Let me just see what this movie's about.
Mm-hmm.
I was
So-
crying, Kizzy.
Oh.
I was boo-hooing, y'all.
And what's the name of this movie again? So
It's
anyone
called-
else that wants to
It's called
experience
On
this.
Time.
On Time.
On Time. And I'm not going to spoil it at all for anyone, but basically from the title, you can only imagine it's about time.
Oh.
And I just literally I guess how I think about time now is completely different because of that movie. I had never in my life thought of time in that way. And I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but if you want to have us, a side chat about On Time once you watch it, I mean, let's talk because yes.
You all heard it. That if anybody, those watching here, Instagram, you look up Dr. Stephanie Tavares,
Yes,
she will have a conversation with you
about On Time.
on time and how it
Yes.
changed her life. I think
Exactly.
this is something to take up.
Yeah, you know
I
what I'm
think it is.
'cause
This is
it's-
the year for it. It's 2021.
Seriously,
Year
and
for change.
the year for change, and even to just reflect on time a different way, because that is something that it's there, right? We know that right now is 12/21, but it's kind of also like this time really exists as well,
Okay.
like it's just a lot that goes into that movie. And
Sounds
I
good.
urge you guys to watch it and let's have a chat.
It sounds philosophical. It sounds good. It sounds like something to definitely take a chance on.
And also how time is related to
Oh,
so
I'm
many
Legend,
other
that one's
things.
good. Yeah.
Yes. Also, I Am Legend is not really underrated. Oh, yes. Malik, that movie is such a big thing over, like, especially at least with like my friends. Like, we love I Am Legend. When it came out, but it is kind of now. Yes, it is. I kind of flipped through the channel because I already watched it a couple times. The plot is based in
That's a good one.
2021, and the whole zombie. Oh,
Yeah. That's
oh,
it's really relevant.
I never
But
thought about that. He just
I
blew
know.
my mind.
I mean, it happens.
I mean, we're not in a zombie apocalypse, right? But it's just like, oh my goodness. Like you couldn't go outside because you had to like, Make sure-
you didn't get killed.
you just,
Malik
You're-
is on it.
it's Malik. Malik, you are onto something right now. And then, yes, Ashley, yes, on Nollywood. Can someone fill, I think they're filling us in
I
too.
think somebody got
Yeah,
it.
but Coming to America was funny. It was a bit more on the community. I agree. Perfect sum up. Nollywood is Nigerian film industry, really entertaining movies. Oh, wow. I didn't even know. I actually watched a couple of them. Not Hollywood, Nollywood, Nigerians. Yep, movies. There was a type of Giselle. Okay, yep.
Okay, that sounds
Yes, they actually are underrated. I would agree with those.
good. Yeah,
But
a lot of those, and especially because in Nigeria, their official language is English. I believe. I may be wrong, but
if anyone knows, but that may
I
be
think I'm right. So,
Yes.
so that helps. I mean, not that you can't have subtitles,
Right.
but it's really nice because then for language for those of us that are English speakers. So
That's
they're often nominated for prestigious awards.
Mm,
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Wow.
definitely something you should look into for those of you big into movies.
Nollywood. I learned something new. Yep.
That's something good to check out.
Well, it's so funny. It's like you learn something new. It's sometimes you already know it, but it's like when you put it into a concept, like kind of like emotional intelligence. Like I feel like that's something like we naturally try to manage our emotions, but like once you learn it in this concept, you're like, whoa, like it blows your mind.
Mhm.
Nollywood just blew my mind.
Yeah, it is because it's very underrated because we don't really talk about it. We talk about Bollywood, or you may hear of the films that come to you through the algorithm of Netflix or Amazon or however you like to watch your movies. So, or if somebody introduces them
Exactly.
to you.
And it's usually
Yeah,
that
it's
way.
so common. Like,
Mm-hmm.
'cause there's so many movies out there.
Like so many.
Oh no, Rabo, you hate horror. You hate horror movies. I don't. What's my favorite genre? It depends on my mood. Like I like comedy. I like thrillers. I like some horror movies. I like documentaries. I like all different kinds of.
I like all. Yeah, I would say.
movies. Like it genres. It just really rom-com. I mean, I love the Hallmark Channel.
It's in English.
Yeah. I love the Hallmark Channel. That is especially during the holiday times. They have the best movies. That I will say is underrated. Hallmark Channel movies.
Hallmark Channel?
I will listen. I'm
Fruit Time.
telling you, they're so underrated because they make you feel really good. Maybe you can predict what's going to happen, but they make you feel really good. Check them out, y'all. Check those movies out. Let's see. Oh, that's so cool. You introduced Ashley to On Time. That's awesome.
Clearly, I'm passionate about this movie.
Clearly you are, but I think that's good. That's what's
But no
awesome.
one knows about it. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
we don't know.
It's like a movie that doesn't exist. So
yep, sure doesn't.
that's why I wanted to talk. It doesn't.
I'm like, no,
We'll watch it.
No, but I'm sure.
We'll watch it one day.
No. Yes. Yes.
It's so good. Yes, and.
I will watch it.
So one of the reasons why
Maybe
obviously it's so good, but one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you guys, or we wanted to talk to you guys about underrated things, is because sometimes that happens at work where, you know, something is just, it falls behind the surface or beneath the surface, and you don't do them. And you should really, such a sad.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was like, damn, it's sad.
Oh, I took a picture and I'm gonna have a conversation with them later. Because one of my things, oh my gosh, it's actually the last one, but why? I mean, is it the last? Yep. Speaking up on inefficiencies. Okay,
so walk us through again for all of those who have recently joined.
Yes,
so what
welcome.
is the topic and what does number 5 represent?
Number 5. Okay, so we are doing the 5 most underrated things that you can do at work. We just kind of had a general conversation about some underrated movies because, as you know, there's certain things that we really should be watching like on time, but we really don't do it.
Yeah, like On Time.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
No, she's not. So speaking up on inefficiencies, like my fruit bowl, you know, I'm still gonna eat it. I definitely took a picture. I'm just gonna have a quick conversation about it, and I'm not expecting anything. I'm really not like.
I live here. I got nothing.
I'm really not, but as a loyal customer, I've seen my fruit bowls decline every single time. And I feel like that sometimes, you know, you don't want to speak up about certain things, but then they're going to continue to happen. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to get my next fruit bowl and I'm just going to be upset about it versus being like, well, let me at least find out. Let me at least find out why I don't have, I'm having this small bowl, right? Because there may be a reason for it, but I just don't know until I ask. I'm just going to be upset until I do ask, right? So how does that relate to work? Speaking up on inefficiencies, sometimes literally we'll be working on a project, a task, I mean, whatever it is, right? And you are doing this one step that you're just like, oh, like why does this step exist? Like, what does this even mean? And it really just exists because there's a paper that says it exists, right? Usually when things are black and white, we think that they're just, that's it. It is what it is, right? You can't change what is in black and white. But the reality is that you can. You can ask questions and you can say, hey, like as a person who's on the job daily and doing this procedure, here are some suggestions, here are some recommendations. But sometimes I feel that feels like you're going out of the way too much, right? Like to go out of your way and tell these people, hey, you know, this process needs to change, right? And I think that's why we stay with a lot of inefficiencies at work because we don't speak up on them.
I think that's very common.
It takes energy.
It does, and we don't like to exude energy.
Yeah, it actually happened to me maybe 2 weeks ago. I was at a restaurant and I was getting really, really bad service. I mean, really bad service. Oh, it looks like, yeah. There we go. Oh, I have poor connection, y'all.
Okay,
but I was getting really bad, like a group of us were getting really bad service. And I'm usually the type of person like where I'm just like, okay, I mean, it's just maybe a one-time thing. I'm not going to complain about it because I just don't want to deal with complaints. I don't want to deal with having a manager pull up and having these, you know, in these discussions, right? But someone was just like, okay, we literally have a list of things that have gone wrong. I think it's time that we tell someone about them.
Okay.
And when we did, Now, again, I'm not looking for something free, but at work, I am looking for my job to be easier if I speak up on an inefficiency. But during that, when we did speak up, we got that meal for free. And we got a voucher for our next time we go to have a meal for free.
So the inefficiency was there was a breakdown in the serving and the customer service part. And then you all took the time to speak up.
Yep.
And then you were rewarded by doing that with giving your meal for free.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which, again, not expecting that either. But I think speaking up on it, like, I think that changed the trajectory of how that waitress might handle things next, and even has something to do how they will handle training for other new employees next, because it was that serious. But imagine if we never spoke up about it.
No, you would have probably just gone to Yelp.
I would have gone to Yelp, exactly, or just had a bad taste on my mouth. Just like sometimes we just have a bad taste on our mouths because of, like, we kind of associate what's happening with people versus the actual task at hand. So we're just like, oh, I have to do this stupid thing, but it's just like, if you really broke down this thing and see where the inefficiencies lie and communicated them, then it wouldn't feel like this thing. Like, it wouldn't feel like you're dreading what you're doing and also blaming others for it, when they're just basically probably trying to put a process together and trying to create, a way to do these things, but they're not doing it every day. So who has to give that insight?
I know, it's good that you did, that you stood up for yourself as a consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because it's hard. It's hard to do it, and you don't want to feel uncomfortable. Hi, Miss Lisa. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, Lisa. So that's just one, and I just love that you were talking about my fruit bowl, and it was really the last one, y'all. But I just had to start there because I think that's something that is so underrated, to speak up, because even the person who speaks up, they're sometimes like, oh, here goes Lynn again,
I know.
and she has to say something.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I don't know.
So we do have. I kind of wanted to know. I mean, you guys can speak on it if you want to or not before I go to the next one. But is there something that needs fixing in your organization that you may not be speaking up about or are noticing? Oh, wow. Right? Because if there are things that need fixing, maybe we can have some suggestions come around here.
I know, that's
and how to approach that.
I'm open. Whatever you all want fixed.
Yeah.
You can share.
So there's something that needs fixing in your organization, an inefficiency that you come across every single time, and
that's right. Inefficiency.
Right, and you just haven't said anything.
What do you need fixed?
What do you need fixed? Right, we're fixers.
That's a good question. I think there's always something that could be improved. You can make better. You can make more efficient. I think it's something to ponder, because sometimes it's not as clear.
Right, exactly. And I don't mean to like put you guys on the spot, but just
it's okay.
Yeah, just think about it.
All the KPC team, you all can just write like nothing. It's okay. You can tell the world.
Well, the awesome thing is that we have a process for that. Slack Kizzy,
Yeah, I know. You just
exactly. And if something needs fixing, yes. I mean, well, if it makes sense, I feel like you usually go with it. Like,
I'm more than like,
yeah, you go. Yeah.
Of course, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Because my mantra is to make lives easier and to make sure you have the tools that you need to do the job.
Exactly. Literally. Because
if you don't have the tools you need to do the job, then you can't do the job. Like the person, have you ever speaking of restaurants, like you'll go to a restaurant and maybe you notice, for those of you that are going to a restaurant, that maybe they have like a really old broom, and you can see like they're kind of struggling, like the broom looks like that broom's been there a while, like maybe, yeah. And so it's like, well, you can just go to a dollar store and get another broom, and they were going to be way more efficient, and it also shows them that you care because you're giving them nice new tools opposed to an old nasty tool that really is inefficient. Of course it's not clean, and we really need to continue this focus on cleanliness,
yes,
even with vaccines and such. So
yes, that's an amazing point. And we have actually maybe an inefficiency. Nigel and I have not encountered one person who hasn't been grateful for some level of feedback. Feedback is a gift, not a space taker. This is a good reminder not to be afraid to take up space. Oh wow,
that's
I love
so
that.
True.
Feedback is a gift.
It is a gift.
Yeah.
It's a
I learned from Greg, there's 3 things you can do with feedback. Being that a gift, you can like a gift, you can receive it, you can use it, or you can throw it away.
That's right. That's
Like
right.
he literally said, I was like crying out. Like,
Yeah,
no, but it's
it's
true. Some people
beautiful.
do that and some things, people may not have all insight on. So it, it's just like, either give them that insight but like some feedback doesn't work. Right. But it is a gift. It's something that you should ponder and sit with and say, okay, why did I get this gift?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. And so I have another one here. I'm just gonna go from 5.
This is number 4.
Yeah,
we're counting down. We're going
counting
from
down.
5 to number 1.
Okay.
Or counting.
So
However.
making allies across the organization
Okay.
is something that's underrated. And I say this even more now in our virtual world, that it's really hard for you to even now connect with people, like before, if you knew your team, now you probably, you don't get to see them anymore. There's some that you probably just communicate via email with, right? There's probably those 2 people that you talk to, right? So it's just like, how do you now, grow yourself in your organization, allies? And why is it even important to have allies in the organization?
That's a good question. So underrated is growing and making allies.
Yes, making allies. I think that is underrated. Like people don't, it's just like, oh, I can try to be friends with Susan from accounting, but I have things to do. Like,
right.
And it has a lot to do with, I think and I'm kind of becoming a bit of a taskmaster.
Okay.
Where it's just, because in terms of work, when you have things on your plate, right, that's what you want to handle. And so even in meetings, like I'm more of like, what needs to be done than how are you? And that will impact me later on when it's just like, okay, well, we don't want to bring Stephanie involved because she's just going to be like this drill sergeant who's like, when is this stuff getting done? What was that?
And nobody wants that.
Nobody wants to work with someone like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know that, I realize that, like, and I acknowledged it. And I told a couple of friends, like, colleagues, like if I've been a taskmaster lately and I haven't really, had those side conversations with you just to see how you're doing, I apologize. And I literally have done that because you got to acknowledge it, right? You can't just let it go by. It's just right now I'm a little bit busier and I'm a little bit more task oriented than, I guess not task oriented, but relationship. There you go. Yeah. Relationship oriented.
Side is you just got it's just a little.
Yes, but it's almost like you can't forget your social currency, right? You can't forget because having allies, like things you literally, just because it's not necessarily a task or money or time, right? All these or energy, it doesn't mean that having that that colleague from a different department doesn't mean that's not going to help you later on in life, right? Or another project that you may just need outsider information on. So just always good to have those allies and keep those, I would say friendships opened.
Okay.
Yes. So we have holistic application of process improvements, not just focusing on improving with respective silos. Exactly. And that kind of brings in both of them together, because sometimes we may improve something within our department. Well, we didn't check with the other. We're not allies with, like I said, accounting. So now we just messed up accounting's process. Right. So it kind of goes hand in hand, having these allies and fixing these inefficiencies.
Yeah,
they go
it
together.
Totally goes together.
Mm-hmm. All right, just making sure we're good there. All right, so this one we kind of touched upon when we had our Valentine's Day good food episode. Yep, and we talked about the self-disclosure, and I think that this was actually already thought of, which is revealing parts of yourself is really underrated. Like that idea of self-disclosure and letting people know, hey, yes, while I am a taskmaster, here's what's going on in my life,
Right.
Like, here's why I've been the way that I am. But when we don't give people that, that information, they just kind of make assumptions on their own.
Yeah, they do. We fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And I just feel like, why is this underrated? Because I'm at work. So why do I need to share things about myself? Like, what is it to anyone for me to tell you what happened to me at home yesterday?
Yeah, I know. It's true. People they don't know. They don't know, but it helps. It's helpful. It's really helpful to review. But that's and this is a great question. This is a great example of how to do that. What is something you want people to know about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? What do you guys want people to know about you that they don't know? That you're okay with them knowing, or maybe they do know it at some level. Who knows?
Both of our accounts here on Instagram have decided to take a hiatus. Okay. What is something you want people to know about you that they don't know already? Is there anything?
I gotta think about that. I don't know. I think I'd like them to know I like Brussels sprouts. That's
it is so like
it's
obsessed.
very important to me. They wouldn't know that unless they follow me on TikTok.
Which
you could follow me on TikTok.
Yes.
Kizzy and Parks. Great content there. It's fun. Lots of fun content.
So I think that some people didn't know, at least people that joined us, they didn't know that you had a
TikTok account or that I love Brussels sprouts.
Exactly.
Those are very important things. Both are there on TikTok.
I actually, since we're talking about food and we are in a food episode, I just found out I'm allergic to bananas, apples.
How did you find this out? Did you have the test?
Yes, I had a allergy test. And now, I got it like standard from my, I didn't get like a physical. I was like, I need an allergy test because I was like, I need to know what's going on. And it's like, you get these percentages, but it's just like, okay, I now know I'm allergic to bananas and apples, but what does that really mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, what is that?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so now I have to go see an allergist because it's like, yeah, you can tell me like, okay, I'm allergic to bananas, but I know that I don't get reactions. I don't
know.
And I'm actually most allergic to bananas, which is hilarious.
Oh wow.
Yes, and I love bananas, and I will probably continue eating them. That's why I have to see an allergist because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, it's important.
So I love video games and anime as much as I love music and academia. Yes, would agree. Yep. And it's just like having those dual sides. I love that you brought that up, Ashley, because we all have these dual sides of us, Like, it's just like, yes, I love being studious and I love having that professional side, but I'm also like, want to play video games sometimes and like yell at the TV and like,
yeah, video games are good. Playing them, they're fun. They're entertaining. I love them. Brussels sprout obsession is what I have.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, and now we're moving on to 2.
Number 2. We're on number 2.
Number two. And I'm good with this. Number 2, saying no.
Oh wow.
Ooh, that felt good.
That did feel good. I could feel the vibration in our voice. Like I could feel it.
Yes.
No. Saying no. So underrated to say no at work.
Yes. I feel like when you guys can even answer this. When you say no, what are some of the connotations that you feel are being, are there, right? So it's just like, I may say no because I really can't, but I feel like there's a lot of fears involved with how others may take that no.
Yeah.
Right? And the perception of your no.
And the culture of the company.
Yes.
Maybe you can't say no. I don't know.
Yes. And then it's so funny because it's just like, well, what do you mean I can't say no?
I don't know. What do you mean that you can't say no?
Right, because it's just like, you work in an organization, you get a list of responsibilities. My favorite one is at the bottom where it's just like, some of these are not, whatever you're assigned, basically like that one that encompasses all.
Yes.
I hate that bullet point because it's just like, okay, well, what's the point of the job description? Yeah. It kind of basically is telling you like, you can't say no. Yes. But then here you are probably going to trainings that are telling you to empower yourself, delegate, say no when you can, how to manage up. and like you're practicing these skills, but like your boss is saying like, well, I mean, you have no choice. Like, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, it's hard.
Right. But you got to stick kind of to your guns in a way, because if you don't, what happens next time?
I know what happens next time.
But then it's like, what happens to your reputation too? Because now you're not that person who, and that's the tricky part. Because now you're not the person, you're not the go-to person. Because this person's always going to say no. If we ask them, well, they might say no. So let's just ask Alan. So now you may be passed for things, and that's why I feel like people say yes a lot, right? For opportunity, for just to show that they're a team player, right? But then it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It's a dual side.
It is.
A dual
it's
side.
hard. It's hard to navigate.
Well, do you have any tips, Kizzy, on how to navigate saying no, being a business owner?
Well, let's see. You have to figure out what no really means. Because is no just really meaning like not right now? Does no mean like you're drawing a boundary? Like, what is your real intent of the no?
Right.
So that's how I look at it. Because it's easy to say yes and it's easy to say no, but it's about what does that really represent. So
the reasoning behind.
Yeah, behind your no. Like, what is your no because you're like, yeah, I don't want it, I don't stand for it, or are you just saying no because it's easy to say like no? And so you have to think about it. And no sometimes is strategic. So it goes back to like, I look at the objective. What is your goal? What's the bigger picture? Where does this no really fit in? If it's no, like for me, if you offer me like chocolate cake, as much as I want to say yes, I'm going to say no. I'm going to have to say no. Right. Chocolate chip cookies, I'm going to have to say no.
But I really want to say yes.
Yes, I do. But I say no because I know I have goals.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't want them. So that's the tricky thing about a no, is sometimes your no, you really want to say yes, but maybe you can't say yes. Maybe you have to say no because you need to spend more time with your family, or you need to devote more time to just yourself.
Or recharging, taking care of yourself.
You need to recharge.
Yeah.
And you wish you could say yes, and you know that your team members or your employer would love for you to say yes, but at the same time, by saying no, you're giving yourself something.
Right.
Just some things I think about.
I also feel like by saying no, that's really good. I also think by saying no, you're giving yourself some grace. You are
giving yourself grace. Yeah.
Just take a step back. But then it's there's certain things that you have said yes to. So I just feel like don't be afraid to say no, right? But it's the why behind that no is if it's simple laziness, that's gonna come across, right? If it's really a no because going back to number 3, right, and revealing things about yourself. It's key. I love how all of these kind of like pair up and go together.
They all mix. They all intermingle.
Exactly, because if you're saying no, you have to give that legitimate reason and kind of assess for yourself. Okay, why am I saying no? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
Yeah, I really like that. That was awesome, Kizzy. And of course. We have a couple of comments here. I feel like I respect myself when I say no, and I have seen that my manager also respects it too, because she sees I'm focusing on my bandwidth and quality of work. That's so good. Yeah,
that's a great message.
And I think that's what it is. It's like if you keep saying yes to things, you're just going to be seen as a person that will just going to take on everything and just going like literally letting the wind take you, right? But when you set those boundaries and you say no, which I had a boundaries question actually, but when you say no and people begin to respect you for that. But again, like how you said, it's how you do it, because then you may be that person who's saying no too much. Yeah, and then you may not people may not want to come to you anymore.
But also you may be okay with that.
That's true. That goes back to the reasoning why.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's you making a decision.
Yep.
That's what this is all about. Is you have to be able to make a decision.
Absolutely.
And if you can't make a decision or you don't want to accept the decision, then that's something you can ponder.
Definitely. It's like an extension and declaration of self-awareness, but all within context.
Mm-hmm.
That was like perfect right there. Yep.
It's like,
yeah, she's like, she's dropping down. She's like, my God.
This is
Yeah, we got a juicy topic today. Yes, thank you. Yes, I hope you guys are enjoying this topic today. So I did have a boundaries question for you guys. We did talk about why it's hard to say no.
Excuse me for a second.
But I wanted to ask you guys, what are things within our boundaries? Like, what are things that we can actually say no to? Can we say no to everything? Right, I'm definitely not saying no to my mama. Right? But what are things within our boundaries to control? What can we say no to, and can we say no to everything? Again, just some things to ponder. I'm not gonna. I know some of you are probably thinking about it. If you write something, I'll come back to it. But I do want to get to our last underrated thing. Okay, so
Number one
is spending time learning before doing.
Oh wow.
Ooh, I have some tea on this one.
Okay, share
Okay, share the tea.
Share the tea.
And I think it has a lot to do. This came from the idea of learning organizations and how a lot of organizations are not. Being really, they're not learning organizations. They really emphasize on the task, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I have to hire a salesperson. I have to hire a customer service rep, right? Kind of going through the call center type of, example here, right? I have to hire these people and they need to do their job. But wait, they need training to do their job. Oh, well, we'll give them an hour of training, but they got to get back quickly to their desk because they have to take these calls, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like learning is not this priority in organizations. It's like it's almost like organizations make it seem like you have to come with all the skills. And I understand coming with certain skills, but it's no different than being in a relationship. This is the first time we're meeting. I may know a little bit about you, but I still have to learn you.
Right.
And whose responsibility is that?
Whose responsibility?
It's the both, right? Because I can't read what an organization wants me to do, right? But I can try. I can be proactive about it. I can again be willing to learn. But that person, or really the organization, needs to give me that knowledge. Yes. And that is the issue, is that almost because you can't necessarily see the ROI right away when you're learning something, it's not a priority. It's not a priority for learning to take place. But if you really gave, like, for example, in a call center, these sales reps their time, like really true time to train and not feel rushed, or hey, I got to go back to my desk, for example, then it's going to flow. They're going to catch on to those skills. They're going to get those habits that you want them to, and you can't tell people, oh, go to a 2-hour training and like be the best sales rep possible. You're literally telling them, hey, create new habits here. And how much time does it take to create a habit? It takes a minute. They say 21 days. That's for one habit, right? And when you're learning a skill, there's a couple habits in the skill. Mm-hmm. So you have to it has to be repetitive. Actually, even in my dissertation was about training transfer. And the number one thing, like nothing crazy came out of it. It was things that I kind of already knew. But the number one thing is, in terms of like what's happening in reality, is that follow-up training is not taking place. So that's what participants were seeking most. It's like, like my skill level went up, but I was looking forward to a follow-up training, or I want more training. Well, why do you think people want more training? Because they want to get better.
Yeah, we do. We want to be better.
And I feel like it's almost like this idea of self-development has to be an outside job. It can't take place in the workplace.
Yeah, it often does.
And it's super underrated. So, no different than trying to speak up about those efficiencies. You kind of have to advocate for yourself when it comes to your development and say, these things are directly tied to how I'm going to help this organization grow. And I need time and support and space to learn. You know, it's like some organizations, they hire awesome folks like us to turn them into learning organizations. But sometimes it just takes that one person, that one champion to say something needs to change around here.
Yeah, it does. It just takes that one champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys feeling me?
I think so. I think that's they are.
Yeah, importance of onboarding knowledge versus need on day one skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so true. I love that.
Exactly. It's like we could come with the one day stuff, right? But the onboarding knowledge, you have to provide that to me. And it has to be continuous. I'm not going to learn everything in a 1 or 2 week orientation.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna
Like, it's not
learn a
happening.
lot. But
Learn
it
a
takes
lot.
while.
It takes a while. And think about what the last time you had to learn something or even unlearn a habit and learn a habit. Like that takes a while. This goes back to what organizations can improve on. Number one is true through and through. Number one is yep, exactly. Because learning needs to be at the center of everything. Even though you can't quantify it right away, you can't see it. It's almost like an investment, right?
It is.
Everybody loving the stock market. Who's in the stock market? Yeah, everybody loving it. And but you have to. It's kind of like training and learning and development. It's like a risk.
Oh yes.
She's like, yes, I'm in the stock. Right? Learning and training development is a risk. It is. It's an investment, and it's a calculated risk at that, and one that we need to take. Point blank. You know. I just think the next level is not necessarily fostering learning organizations, but rather becoming performance organizations when the application of learning is front and center. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping that all organizations get there, but I find it's just mind-boggling how underrated it is to be a learning organization. It is mind-boggling.
It really is. I mean, this is why these are so powerful, because they're underrated. They're not really discussed as much as they should be.
Exactly. And so that is all, basically 5 of them, team. So just to recap, we went over speaking up on inefficiencies, making allies across the organization, all over, and considering how you're going to do that virtually now. Ooh.
That's important.
Exactly. Revealing parts of yourself to your colleagues, to your managers, to your leadership, right? Self-disclosure. And saying no is number 2. And last but not least, that winner, spending time learning before doing. Yes. So, team, I hope you learned something today. Yes, you guys are the team.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you learned something really neat today about things that you can be doing more of at work. There's probably a lot of more underrated things. If you know of any underrated things that we did not mention today, you can go ahead and start writing that in the chat. So any other unrated things that we did not mention today that we should be doing Monday morning?
Monday morning.
Exactly.
Monday morning.
I think the next level is not. Oh, I think we read this right. Okay, I thought this was a new one, a new comment. Okay, but it was still a good one. Performance organizations.
Yeah, performance organizations are key.
Exactly.
They're super key.
And so, anything else, Kizzy, in terms of
I think this is
underratedness?
great.
Yes.
I love this. I'm so appreciative to all of those who are viewing and those who will watch the replay. I'm just so grateful.
Yes.
Because these are great things. You know, we spend majority of our life at work, and maybe now work
1/3
is your kitchen or your living room, but majority of our lives are there. So, you know, it's great to have these discussions. Oh, yes, these are our IG handles.
Our IG handles.
IG handles.
So please connect with us. We'll love to continue the chat. Who is taking my offer on the on time conversation? Because I'm ready.
Someone will. I mean, silly. Somebody will. You want to watch the movie on time?
Are we watching it today?
I am not.
Kizzy and I will be watching on time today.
She will be asked to leave the building, and she will not be watching this. Security will take her off the property. If you would like to watch that, I may live stream that, but I would not do that. Come on, you guys. Am I really going to do that? No. It's so rude. However, I think because it has such a great impact on your life, that everybody should take a look at this movie. I think it's great. You know, you should take a look, connect
Yes.
on Instagram,
And
Steph Styles, Kazam Parks. You can ask her about the movie. And
Yes.
also your friend Ashley watched the movie too.
yes.
And it helped her. So look, you have 2 testimonials.
Oh, we got movie watchers.
You have all kinds
I
of
will
movie
watch the
watchers.
movie. Oh wait, I will watch the movie. I think is In Time. In Time, yes, In Time.
Okay, In Time. There we go.
In Time.
See, look.
I learned a lot. Great discussions. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. You know, this is what it's all about.
Oh, we have another one. Speaking of to create more inclusive spaces.
That's very important.
This is underrated. Ooh, is this a whole conversation?
That could be a
Yes,
whole
challenging but
conversation.
needed. I think we need to definitely talk about that.
Yes.
Okay. Inclusive spaces. Last underrated thing.
Less underrated thing.
And don't forget to text the community at 305-853-9481. I felt so official doing that.
Yeah, you're official.
Oh, thank you.
You get motivation. You get at least weekly.
Awesome quotes.
Awesome quotes.
Early
Yours
too. When you
truly.
wake up, you're ready to be inspired.
You're ready to be inspired. You get notifications about the podcast, and there'll be more to come. So
Yep. Yes. So take care, everyone. Kizzy and I are gonna go watch In Time and have a beautiful day.
I'm just kidding. You guys, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
you.